What's up, guys? You know, when I started this channel, seems like years ago, but hasn't really been that long, but seems like it. Especially when I look back at my first reviews. And I think into my third review, I started reviewing Medfords, and then they were like solid Medfords for 6 months. And there's a reason. They make pretty good knives. If you like overbuilt knives. If you don't like overbuilt knives, then you're probably not going to be a fan of most of their knives. Now, they definitely have stepped away from the overbuilt thing with like their new M48. I mean, that knife is super thin. Even though it's long, still super thin, and they're slim midi, but this is the exact opposite of that. This is, as far as I'm aware, the fattest knife they make. They offer this width of blade and scales and multiple options. This is the Micro Praetorian tie. The Micro Praetorian T has titanium scales like this, or similar to this. These are custom scales, but with a 0.19 blade stock. That one is a 0.26 blade stock, or some of them measure 0.25. It's 1/4 inch blade stock, give or take. It is massive. Now, I've looked for a Micro Praetorian T for a year, unsuccessfully. I've never found one for sale on the used market. Definitely not one for sale new. And last week, this one came available. Now, it was the perfect timing for me. I had just sold a couple of knives, so I was willing to pay a little bit extra to get it. It was a lot extra. It wasn't a little bit extra. These are pricey and a little bit rare. I can tell you, I love this knife. I mean, it's not only my favorite Medford, it's my favorite knife. Let's look at some size comparison. So, this is your standard Schliess Boogie. You can see it's a small but chunky knife. The Evo 2.0, and last but definitely not least, Sniper Blade Works DMF. This kind of reminds me of a Praetorian, big, bulky. It's got the 0.19 blade. That's the thickness of a regular Praetorian or a regular Micro Praetorian. I'm in the process of making a deal to trade for a full-size Praetorian with the S90V blade. Now this one has the 3V blade, which I like. It's a great steel. Their D2 is great too. I just don't want to deal with actually their D2 is probably the best D2 you can buy, in my opinion. But I don't want to deal with the corrosion resistance, which is not bad at all. I just don't want to deal with it at all. I would rather have 3V is not a stainless, but it's close. Their S35, it's good. It's good. It's the same as most other S35s, but S35 to me is a little bit soft. I sharpen a lot of knives, and when I sharpen S35, my diamond stones tend to remove a lot of material really quickly, telling me it's a soft steel and it's going to go dull pretty quickly. And they don't go dull quick compared to like the old steels like Allstate. It does a great job. There's nothing wrong with it. But if I can get a steel like S90V, I would rather have it. That's just what I prefer. So the other Praetorian I'm getting is a S90V. Now that's a pretty big knife. But if you've never had one in hand and you see a picture of it, you think there's no way you could carry that thing. It's too massive. And to me, they're really not. I mean, the handle profiles on them are really narrow. They fit in pocket pretty well. Now, if you stepped up to a Medford Praetorian full-size tie, now that could probably get a little bit cumbersome in your pocket, but some people prefer those. This might be cumbersome in some people's pocket. I love this. Now, this knife being this fat gives you zero advantage in cutting, in prying, which I'm not going to do with this knife. I don't do with any knife. Longevity, sliciness. There's no performance benefit to having a blade that fat. You know what the benefit is? The benefit is, for me as a knife enthusiast, when someone mentions, hey, you got a knife, or hey, what knife are you carrying? And I can pull this out. I love it when I have this knife in my pocket and they ask me about the knife I have. I love it. I mean, or if I pull it out to cut something, they're like, wow, what is that? This is a great conversation starter. So, hey, well, check out my YouTube channel, check out the Facebook group. Bringing more people into the knife community. I love that my group has tons and tons of new people. You know, I hate that when they ask questions, they get dogged out so hard, you know, people pick on them, but you know, I think that's excessive. But some of it is, you know, guys just think they're you know, giving them a hard time being funny, but we run some guys off sometimes, and that's unfortunate. But anyway, back on topic. I like conversation pieces. Do I need a knife this long? No, I don't. Matter of fact, a case trapper will do everything any of us need to do with a pocket knife. We're not going to do anything different with this knife that we're going to do with that knife. It's a conversation piece. It makes me feel good to carry it. It's like having, you can call it pocket jewelry if you want to. I don't find that derogatory. I use my knives. If I need to cut something, I cut it. If I haven't, you know, I always have a knife on me, but whatever knife I have on me, I'm going to use if I have something to cut. It just doesn't bother me. I try not to, you know, tear my knives up. I try to take care of them like I do any of my other tools, but I like having a cool knife in my pocket. I think that this knife is cool as hell too. I mean, it's a conversation starter because most people haven't seen pocket knives like that. It's just a cool knife. It gets people interested. It makes them wanna ask me about my channel and ask me about the group and join the knife community. So anyway, the Medford Micro Praetorian tie in 3V. I love this thing. It has a satin blade on it like I like, shiny. To me, I just don't understand why you would put a coating on a blade that's corrosion resistant. You know, 3V is not stainless, it's not in that category, but it's very close. It's more difficult to stain than a lot of knives. Definitely harder to stain than D2, and it's tough as hell. Easy to sharpen, doesn't hold an edge quite as good as some of the others, but it's tough. It's a tough steel. S90V is one of my favorite steels. It's a well-rounded, high edge retention steel that I've never had any chippiness with. So I'm excited about getting that full-size Praetorian. But anyway, check this out. I'm showing something that's very difficult to get. I wish I could say I know you can order the Medford Praetorian tee on Medford's website now, and I know that they're releasing more of these micros to the dealers. I've seen several go out to like dealers that are in our group. So check it out. Maybe they'll drop some ties as well. Guys, thanks for watching. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.